Well, hello there, everyone. My name is Emily. It's here. The Armstrong Powerhouse Class 43 MTU version. She's so pretty. Makes me really happy, actually. This is a first look video at the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 43 MTU pack. She's gorgeous. Like, the level of detail in this thing is fabulous. We still hear the 465 looking over here. It's weird that we can't hear it. Yeah, Anyway, hello 365. So yeah, anyway, he's out ahead of us. We're going to get ourselves ready. Turn the master key. That is a click spot now. No longer just a Shift W press. TPWS and AWS operational. I'm pretending I've got TPWS 4 on this thing. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh. Honestly, I really like this logo. It is such a good representation of the real thing. We are sitting against Papa 436 signal. I've not actually been through Peterborough today southbound. I went through Peterborough today northbound. Well, we stopped northbound, I should say. I went bombing through it southbound, but I didn't even look out the windows. I was just like so tired. Papa 436 signal. 436. We'll register that GSMR up, because that is of course functional now. And we'll set our headlights up as well, because we want day headlight mode. So the one Yankee 5, this is what we're running today. This is a scenario from the Class 91 pack. I've modified it. Basically, all I've done is replace the 91 with an HST. And so cool. Or the Mark 4 set with an HST, I should say. So, we've got the Mark 3s. I'm going to express my one criticism of this pack so far, and this is a criticism I have of AP quite regularly. The file structure. As you guys know, I'm a scenario builder by trade, I guess? It's one of my big sort of things I do, is I build scenarios. I build a couple a week, and they get released whenever I can be bothered. Brackets, not at the moment, brackets. Now, these are based off the Mark III A pack, which is fine. I get that. It's the best Mark III model we've got, and I get that. But, and it's a but that is bigger than my own. Memory management. One of the things I'm sorry, just need to look at this Mark IV. Oh, she's so pretty. Anyway, we're going back over here now. Memory management. One of the big issues I have with Train Sim is it crashing because of OOMs. Because we're loading quite a bit into it now. Bear in mind, this game is over 10 years old, and we're still getting cutting-edge DLC for it, which is so pretty. But what is my issue? I hear you cry. Thank you for asking. The issue I have is what they've done is basically, like I say, the 43 is based off the Mark III, and when you go into the scenario editor, the way you choose a thing is you tick the box to say which pack it's in, and this is in the Mark III A pack. Mark III Pack 1, sorry. Which is fine until such time that you realise that this has all the local hold Mark IIIs in it as well. And the problem I have is it is exceptionally rare that you will be loading local hold Mark IIIs and HST Mark IIIs at the same time. I would substantially rather this be in its own folder structure. Just add a folder called Mark III HST Pack 01, or whatever you want to call it, and that would work so much better. So much better. Oops. We've got the road. We'll put... Oh, the guard's just being slow today. Oh well, I faked that, and the guard buzzed me to bust me. 1, 2, 3. Notch 3 of power is our pull away notch. Let's go. Watch how quickly this thing accelerates. She's so quick. I need to make sure I present this in my double O gauge layout. Because I do have a full LNER Mark III set in my double O gauge. And, okay, it doesn't run on my layout because I've not got enough space. But we're doing 8. Bear in mind, our start speed is 25. The unofficial rumour I have is you pull away in notch 3 on an MTU engine HST. Got the wonderful East Coast branding. We love East Coast. Who remembers all aboard East Coast? So as you guys know, I work on the East Coast main line, and I thought, you know what? I'll watch it just to see who I recognise. And one of the liveries I want to use in a future video, actually, is the Sky 1 Mark III set. Mark 4 set, sorry. And we're doing 60 miles an hour passing us. Bear in mind, an Azuma will be doing like 30 at this point, maybe 40. It's insane. We'll go notch 4. We'll accelerate. Our line speed 105 through this area. We are on the down fast line now towards London. That is Peterborough Neen carriage sidings on the right hand side. I do believe back in 2020, Peterborough and one other town that was on the Neen were playing a cricket game, and basically the consequence of losing was you have to recognise it's called the Nen or the Neen. Bear with me. I'm going to double check. Possibly Cambridge? So I'm just looking at a map of it. It might have been like Northampton or somewhere like that, but it was definitely Peterborough. Near Peterborough and... probably Peterborough and Northampton. In Northampton... Hang on. In Northampton, you call it the Nen. In Peterborough, you call it the Neen. Also, the name of a Rolls-Royce engine, of course. The Rolls-Royce Neen, the first jet engine in a Russian fighter aircraft. The MiG-15 was powered by a licensed-built Rolls-Royce Neen engine that we sold them after World War II, because Russia needed help getting back on their feet, apparently. Anyway, or the USSR needed help getting back on their feet. Anyway, let's see if I can Google this whilst we're pulling away. I'm going to check the manual in a moment. We'll read through that together. Bear in mind, I'm in full power, and we're only still doing 60. Like, in an Azuma, would be at full power, it would be at speed now. Even in a Mark 4, would be going so much faster. Or in a 91, sorry. Neen cricket match. Yes. In 2023, the Peterborough Croquet team defeated the Northampton Croquet team in a grudge match that determined how the River Neen is pronounced. The match was played between the villagers from both counties after the local restrictions were lifted. The teams played 12 games of golf croquet and association croquet. The pronunciation of the River Neen varies locally, with Northampton usually pronouncing it Nen and Peterborough pronouncing it Neen. Who won though? Croquet matches has Rose pronunciation, the BBC. The river rises in Northamptonshire and flows through Cambridgeshire, where it forms borders with Norfolk for a few miles, before reaching Lincolnshire and flowing into the sea at the Wash. Generations have battled over the correct way to pronounce it. Lead curator and spoken English at the British Library, Johnny Robinson, said there would have been a form that was historically older and original sound which changed over time. I've heard more Northamptonshire locals say Nen, even though the E on the end suggests Neen, he said. But there are much local varieties with many pronunciations, and whilst it's difficult to prove one or the other, they are things that people get very hot under the collar about. I love this. I doubt very much that this croquet match will actually settle it. Who won though? I want to know who won. On 30th of June 2023. Oh no, it's the same article. That's awkward. So, the Northampton Croquet team won the inaugural match in 2021. Oh no! With Peterborough drawing last on 2022. Oh yeah. This year, the rivals met on the lawn in Road near Northampton for tea, cake and croquet. The one thing about croquet is it's an honesty-based activity. We don't have to enforce it, we trust people, said Paul Shard from the Northampton Club. The bout began as villagers from both counties were emerging from COVID lockdown restrictions. Peterborough and Northampton croquet clubs don't actually compete in the same quadrant of the leagues, but we're quite close. We're only an hour away from each other. We decided it would be good to have a social get-together and add a bit of an edge. If we decided to look at the theme, the club decided a friendly rivalry over the pronunciation of the river was the perfect steak. This is the most British thing ever, goddammit. Just trying to find it there. Adrian Kirby, captain of the Peterborough team, said the result was a matter of honour. God damn it. This is the most British thing ever. I promise I'm going to read this manual soon. We're going to do an actual first look. But this croquet match is massive stakes. Never Neen Nurse above Ashbury. Read that part. This year, Peterborough successfully defended their 2022 win. So for the next 12 months at least, the UK's 10th longest river will informally be known as the Neen. Oh yeah. That made me happy. Right. We're only 125 running here, aren't we? No, 105 still. Okay, good to know. What I'll do is I'm just going to pull us back to notch 3. 1, 4, 3. So, we're going to go into the manuals now, and we're going to rock and roll. This is the 49th rolling stock pack released by AP, or currently available on the AP website, which is insane, if you think about it. Bear in mind, like, it's the 50th actually, if you think about it, because the Pacer was withdrawn, wasn't it? I'm not sure about what else was withdrawn. Sorry. Brain's back in the room now. So, let's get this manual up. So, first and foremost, the price. The pack is $29.99. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to ride possibly the finest train to grace Britain's rails? Well, now is the time with our highly detailed simulation of this legend. The version represents all HSTs powered by the MTU engine, which was fitted between 2005 and 2010 to replace the original Valenta engine. What's included? 32 liveries plus many variants within them. See screenshots of the manual, which we will, for details. Numerous external variations to simulate all liveries and formations accurately. Comprehensive set of nameplates. 2 cab variants, which is the standard in the Great Western / ATP cab. Passenger views, saloon, and head out. So I'll have a look at that. So that's saloon. I'm trying to move down a bit. Oh, that's awkward. Yes, it's head out, sorry. Which still, like, that's a good view. I'm sorry that I have to have the HUD up for this. I don't know how to move through on the key commands alone. And we've got the Buffy coach here, or the restaurant first buffet. It's one of these. Fun. It's not on a Mark 4. I suppose Mark 4 has 3 coaches of first, whereas this one has 2. Or 2.5. Same as a Nazuma. Oh, yeah. Anyway, sorry. Passenger views. Saloon head out. Detailed internal and external audio, as always with AP. Accurate acceleration and braking physics. These are a big part for me, actually. I really enjoy that. NRN and GSMR radio. ATP, which is automatic train protection, which only works on the Great Western. Wheel slip protection. Always handy. Cold start feature functionality. Dynamic exhaust effects. 6 realistic engaging scenarios for the AP Middle and Main Line, and just trains to South Western Expressways to Reading, and much, much more. Please note this pack is not compatible with any external controllers, such as the Xbox or Rail Driver. It is, but not properly. Anyway, let's look at the manual. So, liveries alone of this thing. First Great Western Barbie, First Great Western Dynamic Lines. I'm going to shout out all the variations as well, sorry. I think you've got on the cab because we're going to get some ping here. Yeah, we're in full power, great. Forward, full power, brake off, good. So, First Great Western Barbie, First Great Western Dynamic Lines. That is First Great Western. I think there's only one set out shops in this livery. It's basically you have a blue through a purple fade, and the actual dynamic lines continue onto the logo. They look amazing. First Great Western Blue, which includes the First Great Western logo and unbranded, and the 125 Group logo versions. Great Western Railway. This includes the Great Western Railway logo, the Great Western logo brackets castle brackets, unbranded GWR, unbranded castle. The following livery variations automatically apply to applicable power cars when using the above GWR variants. 43093, which is Leckens of Old Oak Common. 43187, which is, and 43188, which are the Welshman power cars. 43002, which is Sir Kenneth Grange, which is now part of the National Collection in the National Railway Museum in York. Intercity Swallow GWRs 43185. So that is a power car painted in GWRs. Sorry, in Intercity Swallow. It ran for GWR and it was named Great Western. I think we've driven it in this scenario, possibly. I'm not sure we have. GNER 3, which is GNER with MTU engines. The following livery variations are applicable also. 43290, which is a more Leeds London trains. 43367, which is basically a website thing to promote the website. XGNER National Express East Coast, GNER NEXEC brackets MTU brackets. National Express East Coast, which includes the National Express East Coast livery, National Express East Coast logo, and East Coast NEXEC. Basically, the other version of the East Coast livery. The one that we all know with the white stripe leading down the side of the body of the train. We've also got NEXEC VTEC, bracket, which is also known as NEXEC brackets VTEC brackets. And that is basically the grey strip's got a red band running through it. But the East Coast livery, which is what we're driving today, East Coast VTEC, which is that with the red band going the other way. VTEC with no Goldspan logo, VTEC with Goldspan logo, LNER logo, unbranded VTEC, East Midlands Railway logo VTEC, Network Rail logo VTEC, and the Colas Rail logo VTEC. We've also got the special variations which apply to the VTEC, VTEC 2 and LNER variants. 43274, Spirit of Sunderland. 43300, Craig and Tinney. Also, coincidentally, the logo we have on the back today. Thank you. There you go. Got the nameplate, Craig and Tinney. 43300. 43318, which is the 40 years Journey Schwenker livery. East Midlands Railway 43274 VTEC brackets EMR. That is the VTEC livery, but basically the sort of the silver and black ends here, and it just goes to solid red from there. VTEC LNER 43238, which is known as the Flying Tomato. It's from somewhere the highest mileage British rail vehicle ever was 43238. As we blow through, I forgot what the name of that station is now. That's really awkward. I've had enough to drink apparently. Huntingdon, of course. How could I forget? With interesting that he's terminated there. That's quite funny that I've spotted that. I've never seen that before. We're at 120. It's fine to continue. So that is run in both LNER logo and East Midlands Railway logo. Arriva Cross Country. That comes in the Arriva Cross Country logo, the unbranded variant, and the Colas Rail logo. That also includes the the 43007, which is the 43007 was painted into BR blue, or the original HST livery, sorry, back at the Intercity 125. Sorry about that. At the end of their service. Intercity Executive 43184. IC Exec brackets MTU brackets 43184. Intercity Swallow, which is 43008, which was painted into Swallow livery, but didn't get nameplate, unlike its GPR counterpart. Grand Central Revised. So this is Grand Central with the orange band that runs along the length of the train, and that is available in Grand Central logo and Grand Central and Arriva DB logo. So you see two brackets, DB brackets. Midland Mainline Blue 43159. This is a livery that runs for the 125 Press Group. It's been out. I've seen it, to be honest. I've seen it there all a while, so it's a current era livery basically. And they've stuck one of the HSTs into Midland Mainline livery, and it looks pretty good actually when it comes past you. East Midlands Trains Revised livery with no front numbers and with front numbers. This is for the Buffett HST power cars, which are a variant that's also included. Sorry for not mentioning that with the Grand Central power cars. Now that we're at 120, we're going to go to notch 3. We'll go notch 3. Actually, no, we're going to go notch 5. Let's accelerate a bit more. East Midlands Railway logo and Colas Rail logo. That's fine. 43102, which is the which was one of the sort of final ones to run for EMR, and it was painted into Intercity Swallow, everyone's favourite livery. It's also now a member of the National Collection. ScotRail, Rail Advent, Network Rail 1, which is sort of like one of the older designs of Network Rail livery. Network Rail logo, NR2, unbranded Network Rail, which is also a thing. Network Rail 3, which is a Network Rail 4, as well as the Colas Rail / Network Rail livery. External variations. A number of external variations have been modelled to represent the differences between individual power cars. These are automatically applied in the simulator. Nameplates, as modelled now. That's a 2D nameplate, but I actually think it looks really good. And if I hadn't told you, you wouldn't have known. Cooler groups. There's two variations. The one we have is the brush cooler group. There's also the void cooler group. That's basically post MTU. Cab door window. We've got the revised version. The original one is what we had in the original HST. With this one, though, we can also open the hatch, which is quite cool. As we blow through St. Neots at speed, so there is an ESR coming up soon. I'm going to not focus on the mic yet, I'm going to focus on the road. Oh, sorry, TSR. I absolutely love the way the horns sound on this. It makes me happy to hear that noise. That's an 80 warning. Think about half brake. So there is an 80 TSR in this segment. This shows how quickly the brakes come on. Now, because the brakes come on from both power cars, but they only come off from my lead power car, I need to be off on the brake quite early, so I need to be on the front now. But I released the brakes at 80, and look at that. We're at 70 before they've come off. That's pretty intense. Right, full power again. Basically, I can go full power because we're at 60 now. We've lost 20 miles an hour in the time second the brakes come off. That's insane. Bear in mind, I let the brakes off, like I say, at 80. And we were only a half brake as well, we weren't in full service. So yeah, we've covered that. Buffers. In the late 1980s, some HST power cars were given buffers allowing them to act as DVTs with Class 81s, due to a delay in Mark IV coaches arriving. Light clusters. Upon conversion to use the MTU engine, all power cars were fitted with new light clusters. When 072 and 074 were transferred from East Midlands trains to East Coast and fitted with an MTU engine, they retained their light clusters. Brighter lights and a top mark light were also added to the Rail Adventure power cars, allowing them to operate in Europe and not require yellow ends. Basically, it's the lights. To be honest, the headlights, I'm going to pause really quick whilst we have a look at this. That visual is great. Bear in mind, like how close, like how much I'm zooming in on it, which you would never ever do. Okay, there's a slight issue with the markers clipping out, but the actual headlights look brilliant, I think. That looks absolutely 100% the part. Back in the cab we go, power is on and we're going up for speed now. We have been moved back to line speed. Light clusters, they do have different surrounds. I can't actually tell the difference between the two. They look identical, but I can't tell the difference in the screenshot. So that way I don't know what we have, but there's basically no edge. Top marker light is a variation for the new measurement train. The camera is a variant for the new measurement train. In the 1980s. That's actually quite cool. So the rear power car, so the front power car, has a missing notch. I actually remember seeing this on a real HST and thinking it was damage or like, you know, been removed for whatever reason. Because it was damaged basically. This was done intentionally in the 1980s. Eastern region power cars had a section of their cooler group grille removed to provide an easily accessible coolant refilling point. This never became a region-wide modification, but has remained on the relevant power cars ever since. So this power car has it. This one appears not to. That's quite cool. Variant of the Mark III. Trailer composite 46XXX. Coach numbers. Trailer catering composite 45XXX. Trailer catering composite sliding doors 45XXX. Trailer first 41XXX. Trailer first disabled 41XXX. Trailer first disabled sliding doors 41XXX number range. TGFB trailer guard first buffet 406XX. Trailer guard standard 44XXX. Trailer guard standard sliding doors 491XX. These are a Great Western version. TRFB, the trailer restaurant first buffet, then the 402XX range and the 409XX range. TRFB trailer restaurant first buffet also in the 407 number range. So this is different depending on the different regions, how they were done and all that kind of goodness. Really actually quite cool. There's also the 408XX range for the trailer restaurant first buffets. There's also the trailer restaurant standard buffets in Grand Central Livery in the 404XX range. Trailer standards in the 42XXX range. Trailer standards in the 42501 through 42520 range. Trailer standard sliding doors in the 42XX range and the 481XX range. Trailer standard disabled in the 42XXX range. Trailer standard disabled East Coaster and Riva in the 42XXX range. Trailer standard disabled sliding doors in the 42XXX and the 481XX range. Trailer standard miniature buffet in the 401XX range. That is the Mark III variants. There's a lot of them. There are two cab variants included in the pack: Standard and Great Western /ATP. Standard, this variant is used on non-Great Western region power cars except ScotRail and Midland Mainline Blue 43159, which are ex-Great Western. GNR next second network rail liveries do also not have the forward-facing CCTV camera. That thing. Probably just triple checking that. There is also the Great Western /ATP. Great Western region power cars were fitted with ATP, also known as automatic track protection. This is a system that basically, on Great Western, there's a wire in the forefet, I believe it is, which tells you basically, or tells the train how fast it's allowed to go. The train, or this simulator, which is really cool, and I want to run that in a future video. I am hoping to do a London Paddington to possibly as far as Penzance, probably as far as something like Exeter video where we sort of cover off on ATP and or non-ATP operations. It'll be quite cool. The cab guide, it's pretty standard stuff. We've driven the HST before. I'm not covering up on that. The main point of interest actually is, can I set your DRA here and your DSD. Keyboard controls, non-standard keyboard controls are listed below. ATP has its own keyboard controls: light switch, clag factor. Clag factor, let's just double check. This is how it'll go on the clag factor of 10. So that, obviously we are at speed and we are sort of rev stabilised. There's a little bit of smoke there, I can just see, I'm not sure how well that shows out on OBS. If I knock that back to 1, we run to basically clear. I'll stick to about 6 because it's quite, it's a bit more tired loco that we're running today. Cab light switch on off, clag factor increase, desk lights, driver reminders appliance, driver guard to signal, DVD reset, DVD isolate, engine stop, localized stop which controls out, which is quite interesting. So I can shut that down the engine in this power car, but not the other with control Z. Control Z. H is the headlight controls, shift H. So H is headlight switch clockwise, shift H is anti-clockwise. First time seeing this feature in TS. That is the standard horn. If I press, the horn sounds very quiet. That is the soft version of the horn. So if you press Control Space and Control B, that kicks in. Horn factor is also a feature on this, so we'll just go. Ignore that. That's a bug due to the cab pack and not having it installed correctly. It's me, not anyone else. back to 6. What we'll do is we'll just get our headlights set today running again. There we go. And we'll set Shift V, which will park on like perfect. We're blowing through Armstrong, so our next one is Hitchin. So we are on the fast sections here of the East Coast. 125, we're in full power, but since we dropped that 80, the train's struggling to pick back up. HSTs are not quick off the blocks. Even at sort of high in acceleration. They're good at sitting at speed, but they're not good at getting to speed, is the way I would explain them. So yeah, we've covered horns, we've covered horn factor, master key, Shift W. Motor factor is a feature on this. So it's a 1 to 6 range, which is just it basically shows how noticeable the traction motor sound is. Or select how noticeable it is. Visual aids, I keep those on to be fair. Wiper switches for the engine. Physics, great cabin tech to simulate the distinctive powering and braking characteristics that makes this range such a challenge to drive. It gives you a traction breakdown, sort of the revs that you should expect. I've got an amber aspect I can see ahead. I'm going to see if that pulls off after we clear this signal. Probably not, is my answer. Yep, it doesn't. So I'm going to go into idle now. We're going to struggle to hit 125 today, aren't we? Yep. Half brake on it, please. Double amber, single amber next. Neutral section approaching. I mean, I commentate the neutral section purely as though I'm driving electric, but also driving a diesel train, so neutral section is going to apply to us today. Load timings when revving from off to notch 5, it takes around 20 seconds for full power to go. Why am I braking? To be honest, it's a little bit of meta because my third time to recording this video, I know what's coming. Actually, a single amber red ahead. Oh, it's pulled off to a green. I'll go idle. No, I'll go full power actually, because it pulled off to a green. So it pulled off from a single amber to a green, which leads me to believe that this signal was protecting a train crossing over at Hitchin, which is our next station. Because remember, this era is pre the Hitchin flyover being a thing. So basically, there was a train crossing over one of these. Load timings, like I say, when revving off from off to notch 5, it takes around 20 seconds for full power to be supplied. Due to this lag, it's by no means neutral to begin applying power before actually needing to accelerate, especially at speed. When revving down to notch 234, amplitude is gently brought in sync with the engine RPM. When moving to notch 1, amplitude is much quicker if the driver requires a quick reduction in power. Moving to off, then remove power altogether, almost instantly. As we thought, this recommended that reducing power. Move to notch 1 and wait 5 seconds while moving to off, as to reduce the power on the wire on the electrical breaker. Time for me to take back my donut. Why do I do Darth Vader homes? I've got a friend who lives here who has a pretty good connection to Star Wars and the Darth Vader theme. Factor of effort, the 43 is rather unusual in being a diesel electric locomotive with no field diverts. This is because, unlike most locomotives, which require the need to effectively haul a wide variety of loads, the 43 is designed for a specific job of hauling 4 or so Mark III coaches. I disagree with that, it was like 7 or 8. And unusually light load at high speed. As a result, the starting track effort at low speeds can be reduced, which brings the benefit of track effort reducing a lot slower as it rises. Sorry, the track effort reducing a lot slower as it rises as the speed rises, allowing the HST to reach 125. I'm not covering off the details, but what does that going into too much in depth? What does this mean in practice? Whilst the 43 can feel slow to accelerate at first, tractive effort stays constant until 35. So by the time you reach speed, you start to feel as though you're actually making good progress. This unusually high speed does mean that 43s are particularly prone to wheel slip. Though as adhesion reduces as speed increases, as a result, don't be fooled into thinking because you're over 50 or 20, you're likely to slip. It's the opposite. Your highest chance of slips being at 35. This also means that you experience slips at high speed, such as 90, which I've done before actually, on the MTU EP, not on the MTU standalone, which is all part of the unique character of this train. Amen. So you can run this on one engine in a one engine only mode. There's a note on that, which basically all the features are. So yeah, the redundancy of having two power cars provides more often music out of 3 cars, keeps those running, albeit with reduced performance. The traction physics of both power cars in a set are calculated completely independent in this pack, which allows us to provide the option to run with only one power car per traction power, which is quite fun. I know there was back in GNR days, there was a HST diagram that started, I think, in either Leeds or Doncaster, and ran all the way up to, sorry, I'm in full power, break please, good, just checking. I ran all the way up to like Aberdeen or Inverness, probably Aberdeen actually, but basically ran with only one power car in the front as far as Edinburgh, where another would be added on the back. That would come off Craig and Tinney. I'd love to know how they did that, because logic would have it that unless you're doing a very specific trump manoeuvre, basically leaving Craig and Tinney the wrong way and running all the way around the subline as a light engine, which is possible, but you'd struggle to get, you basically have to be reverse all the way from Craig and Tinney to Thingy. This is Stevenage. My friend who has a Star Wars connection and I went to a Nando's, which is about here. I do want to do a flyby actually. Let's do that now. But yeah, it's quite cool that basically you're allowed to have one engine running. You can also isolate certain notches of power, or prevent the engine from going over certain notches of power. That sound is great. Back in the cab we go. Overspeed trip. Upon the conversion to the MTU engine, a speed limit was introduced. Shows that traction power is cut. The speed rise above 132 mph. This is a fairly crude system which uses the wheel slip protection system to cut power. So you also see the wheel slip lights on the desk illuminate when this happens. To regain power, you will need to return the power handle to off and ensure speed is fallen below 132. Due to running at high speeds for extended periods, Class 43s are prone to running rather hot, especially in the summer. Pre-MTU conversion, the original Marston and Cirque cooler groups weren't the best at handling this, and hot water temperature trips, HWTs, were fairly common during hot weather. HWT trips are where the traction power is cut as a last resort to prevent the engine coolant from boiling itself dry. Drivers would simply have to wait until the coolant temperature had cooled sufficiently before being able to regain power. All MTU engines are fitted with more up-to-date Voith or brush cooler groups, which are more effective and seek to deal with high water temperature with lighter touch interventions at lower temperatures before cutting power altogether. Voith groups are found on Great Western and Lakely Scott Rail power cars. Brush groups are found in the rest. If the Voith cooler group detects that water temperature is becoming too high, it will isolate power notch 5. Even if the driver has set notch 5, only notch 4 power will be provided to the affected power car. The driver will know this has occurred by observing the drop in the ammeter and the engine note changing. Notch power 5 will only resume once temperatures drop sufficiently. If the brush coolant group detects the water temperature is becoming too high, it will derate the engine Output not 3, but critically and rather more intelligently than the voice. Uh-oh. No, I'm fine actually. I can keep it full power. That's fine. We're at 110. I'll let the engine rev down. I panicked there. Sorry about that. We are approaching Welling tunnels here. One page 44. I'm not going to get much further through than this. But basically it derates the engine. That's cool. Wheel slip protection, standard. Brakes, 43 slow and applying power. The real skill driving exercise is the braking, applying for HST speed at 125 within the constraints of the existing signalling system. It's required for the brakes to apply quickly to ensure the train could suitably reduce its speed. To facilitate this, the brake is applied simultaneously from both ends. From moving the brake handle to brake pressure being applied, there's only a 1 second delay. If going from full release to full service, it takes about 8 seconds. Sorry, I'm just panicking again, but I didn't know if that was right. Let's enjoy this flying of one viaduct, actually. This, of course, is one of the Allen adverts at the moment, one viaduct. In contrast, though, if applying the brakes, if releasing the brakes, they only release from the lead power car, and as a result, painfully slow. From moving the brake handle to boat, which looks good, man. He looks super good. He looks superb. Yeah, the train definitely is struggling. We're in full power now, and it's just 100 seems to be a limiting point. In contrast to applying the brakes only released from the power car. Yeah, so it basically takes up to 19 seconds for the brakes to release. Unlike many modern trains, the Class 43 is surprisingly flexible when it comes to emergency brake applications. Unless you miss an AWS warning, which causes the TPWS brake application, you're able to apply the emergency brake and release it whilst on the move. You don't need to wait for the train to come to a stop. That's good of them. The lads over at MTU. Got a 317 there. No. Quite a few 317s kicking out now. Got one heading north, one heading south, and we're going straight through the middle. Parking brake is simulated. I'm not going into that. I'm skimming through this. Gradients. Basically, this has quite a cool feature where, particularly northbound, basically the game treats it as being broadly a flat acceleration, whereas there's a bit of scripting that prevents the gravitational pull on the train. That so like basically going up a hill, this thing slows down, and the train simulates that, which is quite cool. ATP, I'm not covering that because I could be covering that separately, but there's also data entry, self-test, all sorts. NRN radio, so that's that radio there, so it probably works like the GNER. You can see it turns on, but we're just not using it. Yeah. Quite cool. Uh-oh. A bit quick. I'm using the modern speed limits here. That's dangerous. 110 I want in the box. GSMR. We set that up at the start. It's the same functionality that everything else has. Gauge lights. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, so general fault light. Dynamic exhaust effects. Pretty standard. Hatfield, that we're passing. Hatfield House. Off to the left there, not simulated, is where is it Jane Seymour died? Yeah, I think so. Jane Seymour died of a postpartum bleed. Tragic, I know. Why haven't I got brake on? That's awkward. I've got, well, no, I know I have it on, but that was just awkward. ETS, electric train supply. I'm going to run this properly in a future video, because I should not be at 60 at this point in the run. I'll just go full power. But the ETS, this is basically automatically powered from the rear power car. Brilliant. I don't have to go back there and turn it on myself again. I love that. We love it. We love it. Basically what that is that's just a system that provides the ETS train. So it powers, it's basically the engine spins, creates juice, it powers the train from that juice. DVD, there's two variations of this. No, there is a variation of this. So when I unisolate it, it makes that sound every 60 seconds, which must be reset by lifting the DSD pedal or by pressing E. If you reset the AWS warning, the system sees this as confirmation that the driver is alive and well. and it'll reset the time to 60 seconds. If you fail to reset the alarm within 6 seconds, an emergency brake application will occur. The brake application is not locked until you stop though, so if you reset the alarm, the brake application will cease. That's quite cool. I've got it isolated at the moment. A dead variant of all levels is provided with a dead suffix in the scenario editor. This is an identical version of the variant unless the taillights turned off and is unpowered, and as such it will not provide any practical effort in a contest. Ideal for dragon powered locomotive, which is now case 43. So yeah, there is I've got a plan for, again, I'm planning to use as many of the scenarios as I dare. Yes, I've got dead variants. There's also two vectors you can also stick tail lamps on them. Cold stop is a feature. Isolate that off. Audio, the section of audio is this section of the menu dedicated to the outlining of the audio aspects. The engine is recorded from the class 125 groups 4315 at the Midland Railway Centre. We have attempted to capture every nuance of the MTU 16V4000 R41R engine. As a result, as mentioned, the physics section, the 43s are quite unusual and maintain constant track effort until 35. To maintain this record effort, the voltage being run from the alternator has increased as speed increases from 0 to 35. As a result, whilst the engine RPM stays the same, the power notch, the load on the engine is continuously increasing from 0 to 35. Single bank firing. The MTU engines are fitted with a single bank firing, which means when idling, only half of the engine's cylinders are firing. You may have heard this whilst standing next to a power car. Cooler groups, both voice and brush cooler groups, are audibly represented. Whilst it's not as raucous as their Marston or circuit predecessors in the pre-MTU era, they are still worthy of explanation. Brakes. In British Rail's dual sourcing tradition, the 43s are fitted with either a Davis Metcalf E70 or a Westinghouse DW2 brake distributor. The E70 is the most common. The DW2 was fitted to the remaining 40 power cars. It's a completely different sound. It's cool. Compressors, they're a thing. Horns, so we cycle through them and we talk about that. Traction motors, we talk about that. Cab, we've talked about that. Bits and bobs. All trains have their day and night headlights illuminated depending on the time of day. Both power cars at an air rev up and rev down in sync. Windscreen wipers on AI trains automatically turn on when it's raining. Speedo needles drift due to inaccuracy in speed calculation, not applicable to ATV fit cab. There is a random delay between the doors closing and the guard giving the right of way signal. ABS fault light on the cab extinguishers when you move the reverse away from off. Instrument lights illuminate when the reverse is moved away from off. The reverse must be placed in the engine only position to start the engine. 1 second delay for AWS. Magnets kicking off. Headlight only provides illumination between sunrise and sunset. The engine start button will start up both power cars in the HST formation. The engine stop button will shut down both power cars in the HST formation. The local stop button shuts down only the power car you are in. The engine stop indicator light illuminates if either power car or both power cars are shut down. The windscreen wiper cable wobbles in the wind, increasing intensity as the speed increases. I've not noticed that until now. That's proper cool. Hadley Wood. I'm going to just say an Adler, I think, actually. I'm just going to not burn the fuel because I just feel like we're not actually achieving anything here. Through here. Mark 3s. HSTs on either end. Cute. 313s. Oh, it's what a time to be on the railway, eh? I do kind of miss this variety of on the railway. It feels like everything's either a 700 variant or an 800 variant on the East Coast at the moment. Whoops. I do appear to be doing a speed. Luckily this train won't doss me in because it's not a dick like that. See, I like that brake. You see that the brake pipe falls off. That's now fully released. But look at that bogey pressure. It just takes so long. Not sure how that'll do. I'm actually going to stay in idle. Notch 1. That wasn't notch 1. That's really awkward. Oh well, we'll leave it off. It is actually have a coast all the way to London from here. If I was being thinking about it. Nearly 5 warning. There we go, brake release. Next landmark on the left hand side we should see Bounds Green Depot. This is the Intercity Depot in North London. That's Bounds Green right there. I like Bounds Green. Oh, 313 right over the top. Oh, Richard, sir, you outdo yourself. I'm obviously sticking quite closely to time because, yeah, that is designed to go right over the top as you see it. That is immense. That's cool, right? That's a thumbnail right there. We're at 90. I want to stay there because that's our next speed restriction. So this is now part of Hornsey Depot. I believe it's the wheel lathe. Looks like there's definitely a maintenance shed there for that one. Just blip the brake just to see how it does. That's Hornsey Depot on the right hand side. That's Fern Park Depot, or sidings really. It's now become part of the Hitachi complex in London. Quite a few units will go there to stable, not necessarily to receive attention, but just to stable. Right, we're at 80, which is more than fine. You from memory want to be down to 65 leaving. Yeah. Leaving our next station, which is Finsbury Park. I've not driven this route for ages southbound. Northbound I do all the time. Southbound's a bit more of a challenge. It's great seeing all this movement though. I really enjoy that. I set at 65. Bear in mind, we were due in at 40. We're obviously late because of that TSR. And we've not been able to put, and the fact we've got sort of checked down at Hitchin. It took them a minute to pull the road off for us. That's Finsbury Park coming through, then Mark 4 northbound. Please note, folks, the only train that's been swapped in this scenario is ours. So this train we are driving right now. But I guess as we leave Finsbury Park today, what are my thoughts on this thing? It's pretty good. I have no negative feedback on this as far as 43s go. The MTU was always a bit more understated than the than the previous versions. You know, it was also the Valenta. It was a bit more sort of that was the brief though with the Valentas, and that's fine. You know, and I almost sort of enjoy them for how understated they are. They are definitely a sound of my golden era for the railways. In my opinion, the time I've enjoyed trains the most was around 2019. 2018 to 2019, that sort of changeover from VTEC to NER, the beginning of Azumas on the East Coast, or 800s, as I call them Azumas because that's basically what they are. Got a 15 warning. We'll start our slowdown for that, to be fair. We'll do our check down and get slowed off for it. As of course we're disappearing under, so we're dipping it into, this is Gaswork, no, this is Copenhagen. Gasworks tunnel is the first tunnel you go out over after King's Cross, Copenhagen is the second. You'll also see HST going over our heads, that's newly constructed in this era. Brand new, shiny HS2, yay! The rest of us are going, oh god. Yeah. Got the AWS ding. I want to be at 15 just for, it's midway through the next tunnel. So we'll just stay in notch 1 or 2. HS1, flyover, that is the North London lines. Hello 365. 45 limit, but I'm slowing off for that 15 already. Single amber red ahead, so we are going to get held before we pull into King's Cross, which is of course fine. Notch off full service braking. We want to really creep up to this, 15. No faster than, really. I'll probably go down to 10 and then just let the brake off. So I've let the brake off now, but that's to release it by 10. There we go. Just like that. See, look at that. The brakes, we've let the brake off, but we end up dropping so low. To be fair, I'm probably going to just stay at this speed until I see that signal pull off. We are approaching the danger signal on approach. Oh, that's protecting King's Cross Station. There we go, 15 limit. Oh god, we're a bit fast. Again, 1 or 2 miles an hour, I will call within the limit of the speedo. Or whether the accuracy of the speedo, sorry. We're taking platform 1 at King's Cross. We're here. Thank you for watching today's video, guys. Like I say, overall, my thoughts. Is this worth the rather steep, quite frankly, $29.99? Heck yes. It's, so the AP43 MTU I would call the best, so yeah, the EP basically, sorry. I would call the best of a bad bunch. This is what we've been asking for years. A highly detailed, highly accurate HST representation. Until very recently, one of the most commonly seen trains on our railway network. So pretty. He's so pretty. Right, I'm going to creep up to the, we're going down to the end. I'm not sure how convinced I am about the position of these. So why do I say that? Obviously, I go to King's Cross quite regularly through work. And Coach G, my door in Coach G on an Azuma, which is about here, it feels like, is right against the escalator for those. Honestly, it would be interesting to count like windows and like frames. I'll do that next time in London. I'm in London tomorrow, to be fair. So now that we're arriving into platform 1 at King's Cross, thanks for watching, guys. Like the video if you did. Subscribe to see more from me on a very regular basis. Now I've got videos scheduled right the way through to early January now. Still you do some of my Christmas videos, but we don't talk about that. But honestly, I've really enjoyed this. This has been a lovely little drive. And just a lovely loco. Like, she's so pretty. She's so, I don't want to say fast, but like speedy. Next thing it changes the colour match between this and that. Because these two are in the same livery in theory. They're not colour matched very well. Same for that. Those two colour match pretty well. These two, yeah. Anyway, let's pull forward. I want to be right on the stops here in the platform. Sorry, I'm just inching my way in here. I don't know why I'm taking it so slow. Brake on. And the guard steps out, and let's go to the doors. The doors, which now unlock, and everyone starts getting off the train in a hurry. Thanks for watching, guys. Like the video if you did. Subscribe to see a new route learning video from me every Monday. This is definitely a low quality, but it's a first look. Like I say, overall my rating is go buy this thing. If you have the money, go buy it. Not even, if you've not got this, no, just go buy it. But yeah, a new route learning video every Monday. A flight sim or variety video on a Saturday or a Sunday. Excellent work, driver. That's you finished for now. It is me finished for now. Have a great night, folks. See you next time. Bye-bye.